Hello class, today I'm your professor, and we are going to be talking about your attendance at Hogwarts, and why it is paramount for your stay here. In Hogwarts Legacy, we are going to be attending classes. As of now, we know there are charms, defense against the dark arts, herbology, and potions. These were confirmed from the gameplay trailer. We were also told that these classes would affect things like how strong our potions and spells will be. Clearly, this will be a major part of your character's development and strengths. So as your professor, I asked myself, how would these classes actually function? So get your textbooks out and let's talk about that. In the gameplay trailer, it showed herbology and charms. Both show the professor introducing the topic as an opener, and so I think it is very safe to assume that there is going to be a one-time cutscene for each class. I have thought very hard and long about how I think the classes will play out during the actual game, and I think I came to two viable options. Now, in my opinion, both of these options, that I'll tell you in a moment, are going to be inclusive for those Harry Potter fans who are not normally gamers, and also the ones who are gamers. My first thought is each class would be some sort of minigame that rewards you with character progress. For example, look at herbology. Maybe we'll need to tend to plants and ensure as many live as possible in a given amount of time. You'll need to run around, watering it, weeding it, casting Lumos Maximus for a burst of light, all while having earmuffs on to dodge those pesky mandrake cries. Or we could look at defense against the dark arts. Maybe we learn to better defend ourselves from having a small group of goblins attack, and we then need to cast various spells at the right times to overcome it. Really, any minigame that will better you in a specific manner related towards that class. And I really think this is a great way to go about it, because once you leave the class, you would have, one, performed the potion or spell or whatever was taught, but also you possibly have even mastered it, and maybe you have done multiple classes. And so that new ability or potion or spell is even stronger and better. Excuse me, could you please stop interrupting class? I am trying to teach. 15 points from Gryffindor for sheer disrespect. My second thought would be that we would need to attend a real lesson taught by the professor. And at the end, have a short test, whether it be practical testing by literally practicing the spell or potion or whatever we learned, or a test on parchment where we just provide the correct answers. My Ravenclaws would love that. Now, this is a more traditional method and, in my opinion, a bit duller, but it would still give you the tutorial you would need to apply that knowledge outside of class and actually inside the gaming world of Hogwarts Legacy. Now, of course, at the end of any lesson, we are going to be given that sweet, sweet experience. And hopefully some other form of credit, or maybe a new spell, that'd be great. Or a talent point to use on our character's progression. Now, let me know in the comments what your take on how classes would function. And if you like the video so far, please leave a like. We do have a goal of 1K subs that we are wanting to hit. As of right now, I think I'm right around 240. So thank you, students, for doing your homework on subbing, and we'll continue on here. Pay attention! Pay attention! We are short on time for this class today. And speaking of time, we do know that it is important in Hogwarts Legacy. As the year progresses, so do the seasons. Now, this could be because there is either a daylight timer or, and this one's probably more likely, it is linked to certain points in the main story. But let's assume there is a daylight timer and it ticks to the standard 24 hours. With this as the case, classes could either be available only during certain times or anytime you want. If the classes are only available at a certain time in the story, or just a certain time during the day, I do think this would be a cool system for different builds, as you could choose to skip one class, let's say Defense Against the Dark Arts, and instead create a build that is more specialized in picking flowers with herbology and creating potions by going to those specific classes over the others. This would be quite good for build diversity and replayability, as it would make you choose some things over others, which is okay. And even in the wizarding world, most have their own talents with magic. On the reverse of that idea, if they make the classes where it's always open, it could be 4 o'clock in the morning and you roll up to Charms and you're like, hey, Professor, I want to practice Aloha Morha, because why not? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I have no life. I'm just playing this game right now. I do think that we would see a big grind coming our way, especially for completionist players like myself. We would just grind out classes to basically become Dumbledore and be the absolute unit of a wizard that he was. However, on the contrary, there are some players that this would be a more relaxed experience for, as they would have no stress of when they wanted to go do classes, and they could either go do side quest or main story, and then whenever they felt like it, they could just go do some classes and do it that way. So it is actually nice that it would fit both the hardcore completionist and also the more casual player. I do think both would be workable and fun when it comes to the time aspect. Preferably, I kinda like the first idea of it being either a certain time in the story or a certain time during the day. Requiring us to be specialized would mean that the game is much more replayable with a different character. I also think that the second method would be just as fun, just would not be as much for the replayability. But we shall see how they actually do the time for the classes. Now go ahead and give me your thoughts on how you think the classes will function and times and everything in the comments. Please again leave a like and help us for that 1K subs. And if you liked what you heard, definitely watch my video, Don't Be a Ravenclaw in Hogwarts Legacy. And class, you are dismissed!